In this video series, we look at job descriptions like this one and explain some of the terms we find here, because you guys may still not really understand what do those terms mean. So for example, now a backend developer. Who is really a backend developer? Let me explain it right away. So looking at a backend developer, say, we have these three IT layers, right? We have front end and backend and storage. So in one of the previous videos, we talked about the web developer. Web developer, someone who can work on both front end and backend and storage. Someone who has a very shallow knowledge, but can work across all these systems. Someone who can come and integrate a CMS such as Wordpress or Drupal and can integrate it with existing templates on WordPress, or integrate with a Bootstrap theme. Someone who can really integrate these different systems and launch a website relatively quickly and easily. So looking at the scale, we have something hardcore and we have something not hardcore at all, something not difficult. Web developer is somewhere here. It just integrates here and there the things. But then looking at who is really a backend developer, who specializes on one area, not front end. Front end developer focuses on front end. We talk about front-end developers in another video, but now who specializes on backend? A backend developer specializes on backend. So someone who is a little bit more hardcore, someone who works with more complicated systems, more complex solutions, someone who works on some, say, e-commerce solutions that, process more data, more transactions. Someone who is more hardcore in this way. So let's look at what technologies do these backend developers use. It could be, for example, Java. Java is a programming language used for 20 years already. So it's clearly one of the most popular languages out there. Node.js, it's relatively new. In comparison to Java, Node.js is an environment. So Node.js is not a language. Node.js is a runtime environment for JavaScript language. So JavaScript is the language. You can see it here. And Node.js is an environment where Java runs on backend. PHP is one of the most popular backend languages. PHP is used by, somewhere I've read, it's used by 70% of the websites. It's really crazy, right? So it's really popular. Well, even if it would be only 20-30%, it's still a lot. It's actually more than 30%, because WordPress is built on PHP, or it's built using PHP language, which means that it's even more than 30%. Just as a side note, WordPress powers 30% of all the websites globally. WordPress is a CMS system. We talk about it in a different video. If you haven't seen it yet, please don't forget to watch it later on, where I talk about WordPress. And in another video, I talk about CMS. PHP, another very famous language. Ruby, with the framework Ruby on Rails, is popular, especially in South America. They love it over there. Not as popular in Europe, from what I can see. However, Ruby is also great for starters. Also for fresh developers, this is an easy language to start with. Python is getting even more popular these days, since it's used also for data science, for data engineering. And C# with the .NET platform, it's a great language, again, pushed by Microsoft significantly. So this is a set of programming languages backend developers use. There are some more say obscure languages like Erlang, or I know there is Golang, or some of these languages that are not as prevalent as these, but these are, say, the mainstream. And then every backend developer usually works also with the database. So he or she needs to know SQL. SQL is a structured query language. We talk about SQL in a different video. And databases such as MySQL or MongoDB. MySQL is a relational database. MongoDB is a non-relational database. So this is what a backend developer usually knows. Here you can see it's below the line because this part is already the storage part, and we talk about backend developers who focus on the backend systems. However, a backend system still uses some storage, so it's often blended together. Not always. That's why I haven't highlighted also the second part, because sometimes backend developers only create APIs and someone else takes care of the database. They still may need to query data from database. But yeah, that's just a few examples I'm sharing here with you. So these are the languages, SQL and the database technologies. They need to know. Every single backend developer knows database. They can use both relational and non-relational database. So it's a no-brainer. You can see how this shifts from a web developer who can work with all of the technologies to a backend developer who likes to specialize. He likes to go really deep in one or two or three languages and go really deep, learn all these best practices, adopt the design patterns, etc., etc. All right, so I wanted to explain who is a backend developer. So next time you see a job description like this one, you are not surprised. You know what to expect. You know what technologies a backend developer uses, and you can start looking for such a developer right away. So I'll wrap it up here, and I encourage you to share this video with your friends and colleagues so they can also learn how to hire developers with confidence. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.